today we are going to review booking reservations and reviewing your upcoming reservations. So to start, we're going to toggle over to reservations, use the 9-dot icon, select reservations, and it'll bring you to your reservations dashboard. So you start at the top. This colored notification is a notice, so similar to notices in the admin panel. You can add a static message and choose the color. These can be set up and edited under settings. Then you have the calendar on here where you can toggle between dates. We have a reservation summary on the right. So with the date that you have selected on the calendar, it'll show you a total number of reservations and total number of guests broken down between tours and tastings. Here you have scheduled notes and staff notes. So for each day, so select the date that you want and you can add notes. You can easily select edit notes, add schedule notes and staff notes for each day. Next, you have your upcoming reservations list, and on the dashboard, this is a list of all of your upcoming reservations in order of date. So now let's get into booking a reservation. So let's start by going to the availability tab. Make sure you have the date selected that you want to make the reservation for. You can filter at the top by guest count, time, and experience, which is really helpful if you're making multiple reservations. And it'll populate based on whatever times you have available. If you don't select a guest count here, the system will just default to 2, and you can edit that a few times during the process of booking the reservation. So now we are going to book a reservation. Select a time slot. So here you can edit, you can change the guest count, you can change one of the options if you have multiple SKUs and options within the reservation type. Here you can also override the price. You can add special instructions or dietary notes for the guests. This is customer facing, so this will be shown in the reservation summary, and then you can also add internal notes, or you can add a third party. Next, you want to add a customer. So you can add a new customer or select an existing customer. All the information has to be filled in: email, phone number, address, and payment. So payment information has to be on the reservation in order for the reservation to be complete and for the system to automatically capture payment 48 hours before. So if all looks well, you want to select Review Reservation. So again, this is another opportunity to edit. You can edit the guest count, edit one of the options, and here is another opportunity that you can override price. And you also have the option if you want to send the confirmation email to the guest's email on file or not. So if all is well, then select Confirm Reservation. So if you've set up your reservation type to require a host, the system will take you to this page automatically. You can edit the location, the table, and you can assign a host. You'll have to assign a host if it's required for the reservation to be complete, and again, the system to automatically capture payment. Review the information again, make any edits, and now you have a booked reservation. You can manually capture payment at any time, or the system again will charge at 40 hours before the reservation. So there is another way to make a reservation. This is really great for special events because you can make a reservation for any time, any guest count at any location. You just go over to the availability tab, select Ad Hoc Reservation, and then start filling it all in. You start by selecting a reservation type. You have to select the date, input the time. It'll populate your options based on the reservation type that you've selected. Guest count, you don't have the limitations that you have set that you've set up for the reservation type. You can select a location, table. Again, if your reservation type requires a host, search the customer, and add any special notes. And then select Save Reservation. So this is what it'll look like if you're missing a tender. So if you're missing credit card information, it'll have a red notification on it to notify you that payment needs to be added if you want the system to automatically capture payment. So now that we have a couple of reservations booked, let's review some of our reservations. So there's a few different ways we can do that. You can start with the Reservations tab. And again, make sure you have the date selected, and we can see all the reservations for June 20th. You have the time, the experience, reservation number, and then status. So like I said, there's going to be a red notification if payment is missing. And there's going to be a yellow notification if your reservation is incomplete. You'll see an incomplete status if your reservation type requires a host and your guest is booking online, then those reservations will come in as incomplete. And when you're reviewing, you can even filter by status, select the reservation, and add the host. And now your status is going to be reserved. So again, from here, select any date, click into the reservation. You can manually capture payment, or you can just wait for the system to automatically capture. Another way to review your upcoming reservations is, again, have the date selected that you want, and you can print your upcoming reservations. So you'll see in the preview, it's all the same, and then it includes the host that's assigned to the reservation. You can also search reservations. So again, from the Reservations tab, go over to the top right, select Search. And this is very similar to your order search in the admin panel. So you can search a name, you can search a reservation number, and it's really handy. You can use the filtering tools to filter certain dates, statuses, again, the incomplete. You can filter by channel, and you can export this as well, which will email you a CVS file spreadsheet, and you can use that for all your upcoming reservations. So now let's review our reservations and check in some guests. So again, have the date selected that you want, and you can go to reservations and click into a reservation and check them in, or you can go to the check-ins tab, select the date, and as long as your reservation status is paid, you can check in your guest. Select the reservation, select check-in. It'll default to the time, the current time, but you can edit this if you forget to check in the guest and you want a more accurate recording of when the guests arrived. You can edit the time and then just select check-in. You can filter by guests that are checked in, and alternatively, you can also mark a reservation as a no-show if you want to keep good internal tracking of your reservations. It just asks you again to make sure that you want to mark it as a no-show. Also, once payment has been captured on a reservation, once you go into the reservation, the order number will populate, and it's clickable and it'll take you right to the order. And it'll have all the order details and it looks exactly like an order from the admin panel. So alternatively, when your guest is leaving, you can close out the reservation. Select the reservation, select close out, and again, it'll take the actual time, or you can input the exact time for better recording. And that is reviewing and booking reservations.